First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Romeo for having me on his show tonight, Saturday night online. So, let's get started with the questions. First question, Nazareth from Napier. What does your album Rebel Heart mean to you? Well, most of all, it means that I get a chance to express what I perceive to be both sides of my personality. Well, the strongest sides of my personality, which is the rebellious side and the romantic side. So, I think that pretty much sums it up, what it means to me. Next question. Charlie from London. What is your main motto in life? My main motto in life is to live each day like it's your last. Okay? Andrea from Albert. What song off the new album are you most looking forward to performing on tour? Sex. Before, during the show, and afterwards. Amanda from Minneapolis. Would you ever produce an album for another artist? Good question. Maybe my son, David, if he decides to be a recording artist. Because if he doesn't behave well, I can ground him. Franco from Montreal. What's the biggest misconception people have about you? That's so simple. I'm short. I'm so not short. People think I'm short, but I'm not. Did you see me next to Taylor Swift? Lucas from Glasgow. Which of your career reinventions is your favorite and why? Well, in 89, I was for a year a housewife from the Midwest, and I really liked that. It was fun. Tasha from Melbourne. Do you believe in love at first sight? No. I mean... N-O. Right. Is Drake a good kisser? Oh my God, I forgot to say who that's from. Jamie from Philadelphia. You asked the million-dollar question. Is Drake a good kisser? I kissed a girl and I liked it. Sarah from Edmonton. When was the last time you ate pizza and got rip-roaring drunk? You seem so disciplined. Good question, Sarah. I'm not really sure. I don't usually do both at the same time. But I love a good pizza and I love a good glass of wine. And I'm disciplined. Jillian from Buffalo. At this point in your career, is there anyone that you would like to collaborate with that you haven't gotten the chance to yet? Yes. I'd like to collaborate with Barack Obama. Elizabeth from Parlin. Do you miss making and releasing music back in the day, or do you prefer the new way of putting out your art? Yeah, I do miss the old school way of making music. I miss bringing my cassette tape to a DJ in a nightclub, flirting with him, convincing him that I'm the shit, and getting him to play my music in a nightclub. And I don't know. Yeah, I miss the old school way of doing things, for real. William from Richmond. What is your favorite song off of Rebel Heart and why? That's a good one. My favorite song from Rebel Heart. It's a toss-up. I really like Ghost Town because I like what it's about. I like what it says. But I also like the irreverence of Bitch on Madonna. So again, the two sides of me, the rebel and the romantic. Can't answer that question. Christian from Montreal. Which artists and albums are you listening to at this moment? I'm all over the place with music. I listen to everything from Kate Renata to Grimes to, I don't know, James Blake, Harry Belafonte, Duke Ellington, Major Lazer, Bob Marley, Jimi Hendrix. Lori from Grand Terrace. How did the decision to put Mike Tyson on Rebel Heart come about? Have you seen his biceps? That was really simple. I wrote the song, Iconic, and it was about believing in yourself. The song is about believing in yourself, and the song is about not backing down and, and pushing through against all odds, rising up and making something of yourself. And I feel like Mike Tyson is one of those people who had every card stacked against him, and he managed to make something amazing out of his life. To me, he's a real role model. I love him. And that was an easy choice. Woo! Elisa from Columbus. What should we expect from the Rebel Heart Tour? I'm so not going to tell you, then it won't be a surprise. Raven from New York. So many people are thrilled with the storytelling style of the music video for Ghost Town. How did you come up with the concept? Well, really the song is a post-apocalyptic love song. So we had, the most important thing was to find a location that looked like what it would look like if, it was the end of the world and I was the last person left. And of course, luckily, I'm not the last person left because I run into the guy who's running that record company, Empire. Phew. Anyways, so honestly, it was really about finding myself alone in the world, thinking that I'm alone, and then I discover that there is somebody else, and we walk off into the sunset together with a child and a wolf and a golf club, because that's what you need to start a new world. Pierre from Istanbul. If you had to choose another title for your album, what would it be? I'm not answering that. Donna from Kingston. How many languages can you speak and what are they? English and English and English. Gerard from Dublin. What do you think has given your career such longevity and kept you eternally relevant? Rosé. Oh, in fact, I think I need some more. But wow, who put this cork in here? Not Gerard from Dublin. Patricia from Belfast. What advice would you give to your younger self knowing what you know now? Don't kiss Drake, no matter how many times he begs you to. Michael from Houston. Will you be making appearances at any more festivals this season? I don't know. I might. Stay tuned. Stephen from Miami. What's more important to you, following love or your career? Well, that's kind of a no-brainer. I would say love. I would say my kids, but that's love. Okay. James from Spokane. As an artist, what would you say the highlight of your career has been so far? I mean, there's been so many highlights. That's a really tough question. Jeez Louise. Let's just, you know what, I like to live in the moment. So I would say now. Now is the highlight of my career. Andrea from Stockholm. Will you ever come out with an album of your unreleased songs from the first album to Rebel Heart? That's a long-ass album. I'm not sure I could fit that many songs on a record. But I would love to release a record one day of all my unreleased songs, or maybe it could be like installments. Yeah. Thanks for that idea, Andrea. Nikita from Moscow. I like that name, Nikita. What do you think about a new collaboration with Britney Spears? I'm up for it. I'm a big fan of Britney Spears. So we'll see what happens. Nick from Toronto. Rebel Heart represents two sides of your personality. What city do you feel exemplifies this duality best and why? That's an interesting question. What city exemplifies the duality of being a rebel and being a romantic? I would say Rio, because it's a wild, crazy city, but Brazilians are very romantic. Kathy from Chicago. You have traveled the world many times while touring, but what is your favorite or most striking concert memory? Jeez. I think whenever I've played outdoors in parks is always pretty memorable for me.
St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg, yeah. St. Petersburg was amazing because, first of all, we were in this square, and the Winter Palace was around us, and these statues were around us, and the moon was out, shining so bright, and the clouds of the statues were cast upon us and over the audience, and it was so romantic and so surreal and so historical. So that sticks out in my mind. Glad I thought of it. Lewis from Manchester. What is the longest you have gone without sleep? Several days. I have a sleeping issue. I guess you've heard about it. Anna from Brazil. What was the most challenging song for you to record on Rebel Heart? I would say the most challenging song was probably Bitch I'm Madonna, because Diplo kept coming and going. As you know, he's a very busy man. And every time he'd show up, he would want to change something about it. And then, of course, Nicki Minaj was involved, and she came a few times, and she's really a perfectionist, and she wasn't happy with her first performance, so she came back and she changed it. And then Diplo would come back and then he would change it, and it just kept changing. And then finally I was like, okay, it's done. So I was very happy when... I was, thanks to my hacker, I had to pull the plug, and I could say I'm done with my record because I got to get my record out. So that's the only time I'm going to say thanks to my hacker. Jerry from Los Angeles, what was the most inspiring thing about your Rebel Heart artwork? I don't know. The most inspiring thing about the artwork for Rebel Heart, I would say, would be collaborating with Mert and Marcus, the photographers. I love working with them. They're great. And Giovanni Bianco, who did the graphic design and put it all together. They're a great team. I consider them to be family, and they're great to work with. Angie from Mexico. If you were another person, what would you ask Madonna? Would you like a drink? Miguel from Valencia. You've mentioned some great books to read on Twitter in the past. Would you ever do Madonna's book club? Yes, I would, if I knew that people would read books. Matt from Copenhagen. What is something new that you want to learn? How to not be bothered by anything. Tony from Italy. Which younger artists have you taken under your wing and consider yourself a mentor to? My son, David. Paulina from Stuttgart. What is the meaning behind Ghost Town, and is it based on personal experience? Of course it's not based on personal experience. The end of the world has not come, thank God. So, it's a fantasy, what would happen if the world did come to an end. And I already explained what the song's about. Didn't I? Ouch. I think I just got a paper cut in my eye. Okay, Romy, we're going to have to talk about that later. Abraham from Mexico City. What is your favorite music video you've ever done? Favorite music video? That's a tough question. I would say probably the ones that I did in the earlier days of my career when MTV just started and music videos were new. Material Girl was so much fun to make. Like a Virgin. Open Your Heart with Mondino. I love collaborating with him. Oh, Justify My Love. That was awesome. That was fun. Got to kiss a lot of guys and girls. It was fun. Dean from Croatia. Do you get nervous before you go on stage anymore? Yes, I do. I mean, it depends on who's in the audience. So. Tori from Wichita Falls. What part of your body do you find the sexiest? My eyes. Ross from Mason. What was the most rewarding thing working on Rebel Heart album? Interesting grammar. The most rewarding thing was when I finished it. Shanez from Algeria. Are there ever moments you wish for a 9-to-5 job? Yes, right now. It's, 9 o'clock and I'm still working. Rick from Rocky Hill. Who or what would you like to become in your next life? I don't really have an answer for that one. I'd like to be a guy in my next life. It'd be interesting to experience life through a male point of view. The edges of these papers are really sharp. Dylan from Edinburgh. Do you ever wish some songs in your back catalog would have been singles but weren't? Yes. I'm from my last album, one of my favorite songs is Falling Free. I think it's a brilliant song, and that would have been cool if it was a single, but it's not conventional enough. Anyway, that's one of them. Rachel from Sydney. This is random, but if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why? I would like to see into the future, be able to see into the future so that I don't waste time and energy doing things, making the wrong choices, being with the wrong people, stuff like that. Adil from Morocco. What is your favorite meal to eat after a long day on work? I think that's at work. Anyway, my favorite meal? Simple. Pizza. And now, for the last question, actually, faked you out. There's no more questions. I just want to say thank you again to Romeo. Saturday night online. Thank you for having me in my bathroom. Let's meet again. Let's do this again. This was fun. Cheers.